Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Francis Entertainment Center. Today's story is called The Princess and the Frog. Enjoy the video. In the very pink and frilly bedroom of young Charlotte LaBeouf, who's sitting beside a young Tiana as they listen to Tiana's seamstress mother, Eudora, tell the story of the Frog Prince while she puts the finishing touches on a dress she is making for Charlotte. Charlotte is entranced by the story while Tiana is clearly disgusted at the thought of kissing a frog and vows to never kiss one. Charlotte then puts a frog mask on while her kitten starts pushing it into Tiana's face. But when Charlotte starts kissing the white kitten after Tiana refuses to do so, it jumps up and gets stuck on the ceiling with fright. Eudora then gets it off the ceiling and takes the mask off the horrified white kitten. Charlotte's father, Eli, Big Daddy LaBeouf, arrives home with a new puppy for his spoiled daughter, while Eudora and Tiana head home. Tiana and her friend Charlotte are definitely from two different worlds. So the young girl and her mother head home to their tiny shack where Tiana's father James waits for them. Tiana and her father laugh together as they whip up a batch of his famous gumbo and talk about their shared dream of one day opening a restaurant. Tiana's father reminds her that wishing only take you so far, and you have to get the rest of the way yourself through hard work. Makes her promise that she'll never lose sight of what's really important in life. Tiana makes a wish on the evening star that their dream will one day come true, only to become frightened by a frog that appeared right after. Several years later, Tiana is now a beautiful young woman, all grown up, working two waitressing jobs and saving up all her tips in a bedroom drawer, hoping to earn enough money to open the restaurant she and her father had always dreamed of. Before heading off to her second job, she plants a kiss on a photo of her father. It is implied he was killed in World War I, telling him they'll be there to their dream soon. As Tiana heads off to work, there is a quick glimpse of the hustle and bustle of New Orleans as it was in the 1920s, full of life and culture. However, it soon becomes apparent that Tiana is much too focused on her job to really take part in anything non-work related. She's been turning down invitations to social events from her friends in favor of working extra shifts. She is a determined and hard-working young woman that sacrifices her own happiness to reach her dream. While waiting tables, her best friend Charlotte, who became all grown up like Tiana, arrives with exciting news. Prince Naveen from the faraway country of Meldonia has arrived in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. He will be staying with the LaBeoufs, and Big Daddy hopes that Naveen and Charlotte will hit it off so the two can wed. Charlotte is thrilled at the thought of marrying a prince and pays Tiana an immense quantity of money to whip up some man-catching vignettes for the prince's welcome party in order to impress him. After accepting the payment, Tiana finally has enough money for a down payment on a rundown sugar mill she plans on turning into her restaurant. Despite her mother's concerns, her workaholic ways, and maintaining that her father still had his family's love even though he did not make his dream come true, along with her desire for her daughter to get married and possibly have kids, Tiana still prefers to keep on going with her desire towards her dream, saying that she's almost there. Meanwhile, Prince Naveen and his butler Lawrence arrive in New Orleans. Naveen is entranced by the New Orleans music and culture and women. He definitely lives in a playboy lifestyle. Though he is royalty, Naveen's parents have cut him off financially and that his only choice is to marry a rich woman or get a job. Of course, Naveen would never dream of lifting a finger himself, instead hopes to marry Charlotte and inherit some of her fortunes. As Naveen and Lawrence wander the streets following a commotion the prince started with some music performers, they are encountered by the shady Dr. Facilier, also known as the Shadow Man. He invites him to his voodoo shop, where they learn about his powers and his friends on the other side. Jealous of the LaBeouf fortune and power, the Shadow Man takes advantage of the prince's guidability and Lawrence's resentment of his master to help in his plot to get over New Orleans. He turns Naveen into a frog using a magical talisman. He turns Lawrence into an exact copy of Prince Naveen, though his eye color and voice do not change into Naveen. The plan is for Lawrence, as Naveen, to marry Charlotte to get her money and share it with the Shadow Man, who plans on killing Big Daddy and using his fortune to control the city. That night, at the masquerade party, Naveen, which is actually Lawrence in disguise, arrives and immediately sweeps Charlotte off her feet. She is clearly enraptured by the idea of marrying a prince. Meanwhile, Tiana discovers that someone had outbid her in the old building. If she can't get the money in 3 days, she'll lose any hope of achieving her and her father's dream. Feeling hopeless, Tiana goes out onto the balcony and makes another wish upon the evening star. It is here that under the stars, a talking frog comes to her, who turns out to be the real Prince Naveen. Naveen mistakes her for a princess. Due to her masquerade costume, Charlotte went after her original costume got messy in a mishap, and tells her that if she kisses him, he will become human again, and then he will give her anything she wants in return. Thinking of her beloved restaurant, Tiana reluctantly kisses Naveen, creating a big flash of magic. Naveen then looks at himself, only to sigh in disappointment among seeing that he's still a frog, then looks down and sees Tiana's dress on the floor, which is trying to get out of it. Tiana managed to get out of her dress and told Naveen that she didn't look much different. Asked him how she got there and why she was in the middle of her dress. Then she saw that his hand was green, and he looked in the mirror and discovered that he had turned into a frog. In great panic and anger, she jumps onto the table to Naveen and attacks him, resulting in them getting launched out of the room and landing in the party. Chaos ensures as they end up in Charlotte's dress and are chased away by her dog Stella and avoid bumping into several party guests. During Tiana and Naveen's runaway, they are spotted by Lawrence and the Shadow Man, who then head back to the guest house where they left Naveen and see that he really has escaped.